Hey, fellow patriots, welcome to Hope for Survival YouTube. Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a great day and ending to your week. It's a beautiful 64 degrees here at my location in central Tennessee. A little bit cloudy, but it's still the sun's coming through. So I hope you're having a good week. It has been an interesting week, and I wanted to talk to you about a couple of things real quick. Two topics that are itching at my craw, if you will. As I've said many times before, what I share to you here is strictly professional and it's not personal. So if you understand what I'm saying, it'll all be good. And if you don't understand what I'm saying, it might itch your craw a little bit too. Okay. When I write on the newsletter or teach classes or come here and do YouTube videos, it is strictly 100% for you to help you. My life is busy enough that the hours that I spend weekly, 40 to 50 hours a week doing Hope for Survival stuff on top of a 40-hour a week day job. The last 5 years, it's taxing. I'm not complaining, but the whole point is I'm doing it for you because I care about your well-being. Many of you who I know, and I've been to your homes in multiple states. I've come out to teach classes for you. And the books that I've written is solely for the mission of trying to better prepare you. Okay? Many of you are dear friends and like family. Many of you are acquaintances that I value, and some of you I may have not met, but you're my fellow Americans, and how things turn out for you matters. Okay. Early on in Hope for Survival, I talked about the word preparedness versus prepping, for the simple reason of preparedness is an all hazards approach 24/7, 7 days a week, where prepping is often people are preparing for the SHTF moment that may come next week, it may come next year, it may come in 10 years, 5 years, we don't know. But in preparing, it is preparing us for all potential hazards, man-made, natural, or technological. Okay. And it's so that when these events occur, we have steps and measures and plans in place to help us work through them, to hopefully harden us as targets versus leaving us vulnerable as a soft target. Okay. There was an event that occurred yesterday dealing with phone outages, numerous carriers, and this would fall under a technological event. Okay. There was speculation of cyber attacks and speculation of this and speculation of that. The point I'm getting at is of numerous blogs, text threads, things of that nature, there were tons of speculation as to what caused it. But what I didn't see, which is the most important point, is, and we've talked about it recently, we've talked about it a lot, but just recently again, We've talked about the point when you have this type of event versus trying to find out what caused it. The bottom line is you don't have cell service, right? So you need to immediately be running your own self-test as to what else is impacted to help you come to a determination of how severe the event may be. So you could immediately send your cell phones down, and you could immediately um, excuse me, you can immediately send a text message to someone you know that's probably at their phone and see if they respond back. Because oftentimes when cell phones goes down, you can still text. Okay. Um, so let's say the cell phone's down, the text message doesn't work. Try starting your car. Go in your home and see if you have other resources that are without power. You're doing the test of elimination to help you determine how severe it could be. Is it a solar flare? The solar flares impacted the cell phone towers and so on and so forth. Well, if you understand solar flares and the different strengths of solar flares, what is the likelihood? Okay. But of the point, the point in this topic is that so you spend 2 hours out there researching, and you finally see that AT&T or Verizon or whoever it is tells you that Scooby-Doo flew into a cell phone tower and it networked and it took them all down. So what? Where does that leave you? You still don't have a cell phone, right? More importantly is that when these events happen, you immediately go to your own checklist and you start processing what you know and how it's impacting you. Okay? This leads me into the second topic, because the cell phone outage is applicable to the bigger point that I wanted to do originally. And I've just now got around to being able to do it. And that is, I want to talk about the criticality of having a P.A.C.E plan. Oh no, it's that topic again. It is that topic again. And I have spoken on this topic numerous times, which should tell you it's not because I don't have anything else to talk about or anything to do. It should tell you the importance of the topic. Okay? The P.A.C.E plan, your primary alternate contingency and emergency plan for communicating between you, your loved ones, you, your community, you, your team, you, your mag, you, your tribe, whoever it may be. Okay? So let's say there was an event yesterday and you lose cell phone service, which some probably lost cell phone service, right? How many of you that even have a P.A.C.E plan took it out and determine how many people on the P.A.C.E plan, their primary or their alternate contingency is cell phone, right? So if there's a bigger event and you need to reach out to person A, B, and C, and they are using cell service as a primary means or an alternate means, do you even know what their backup is? Okay? The P.A.C.E plan is not, I'm not being critical. I'm just pointing this out. I mentioned the importance of the P.A.C.E plan on an HFS Signal app yesterday, right? And there was some good conversation and some good sharing and so on and so forth. But there was a comment to a young preparer who commented about being able to reach out to a family member and ham radio. ham radio is not a device that you can walk in the store and buy and plug it in and you're good to go. It takes time and training to learn how to use it. You have to have a license to use it, and the person you're trying to communicate with must have the same. So if you're just now starting and you're planning on that tool to be part of your P.A.C.E, you really need to giddy up and get it going. But in the meantime, you need to consider some other alternatives. Okay. When there's an event, how are you going to communicate? Okay. And I want to expand on why this is so important. This is a great tool for day to day. Your loved one says, hey, I'm running to the store and I'll be back in an hour. In an hour, they're not back. You try to call them and they don't answer. You text them and they don't answer. You don't even know what store they went to because you didn't ask. You just assume they went to the store, right? This is why having the P.A.C.E plan and knowing step by step when people that you care for are away from their nest, if something happens to them, where they were going to be so that you can go there and start working your way out to locate them. They may have went to another store and just didn't mention it. Or worse, they may have been kidnapped. Or worse, they're in a store and there's a robbery taking place and the robbers kidnap them for hostage, or they get shot and they're at the hospital. Okay? Having a plan and a communication capability to work through the processes is extremely important, especially in the world we're living today where crime is escalating by the week. Every time I'm on the road a lot, Miss Lucy's on the road a lot, and historically everywhere we go, like I'm currently at a rest area in Sweetwater, Tennessee. Miss Lucy knows exactly where I'm at, not because I told her, but because of part of what we use to communicate. Where before, whoever which one of us was traveling, we would text out, and I would do so also with Festus most of the time. I'm departing home, I'm at X, I'm stopping to get gas, I'm stopping for a bathroom, I'm stopping for lunch, I'm at my destination, right? Miss Lucy recently introduced me to a tool that is on my phone. Now, I'm not an app person. I don't like putting things on my cell phone. It's my cell phone, it's my communication device. I don't do banking on my cell phone, and I have minimal apps. I can monitor my security systems, I can monitor my cameras, make adjustments to them, and so on and so forth. She introduced me to a tool called Upside 360. I was hesitant at first. She showed it to me. I looked into it a little bit, and I downloaded it on my phone. Okay. It functions through your navigation system on your phone, Upside 360. Miss Lucy knew I stopped at a rest area in Sweetwater because the Upside device, when I have the navigation turned on, it shows her moving on the map from where I'm at to where I'm headed to. Okay, and at this time I'm heading home. She can see my movement across. She can see when I stop, right? And it will tell her exactly where I'm at. So we no longer have to use texting as our primary point of P.A.C.E, right? Why is texting our primary? Because she knows that the easiest way to get information to me and get me to respond is via text, because I often have trouble in travels with cell phone services and getting calls and messages and so forth. So Upside 360, it has offered a great tool for us to use. I simply downloaded it, and I connected with her device. Only the two of us are on our Upside 360. She has a second Upside 360 that has our kids and our grandkids, okay, that own a cell phone. This is a great tool, okay. It might get hacked. I don't want anyone tracking me. Let me tell you something. When it comes to a loved one, that should all be secondary. Okay? If you have a tool that is in your hand, that you have the ability to immediately know where that person's at in the event there's a problem. What if they get kidnapped? If they are able to keep their cell phone with them, you can still track them via the 360. And another thought is you can pick up a cheap phone that offers you the ability. You download Upside 360 on it, and if the kidnappers take away her cell phone, have a small cell phone that has Upside 360 on it, and it's basically a tracking device. Okay, you can keep that with them. Your grandchildren, or if you have young children, if they get off the bus and they never make it home, right? Check to see where their Upside 360 shows them at. All right, and it will basically take you right to where they are. The time that you can save using this technology versus having to guess where they are, start asking questions, go into a store maybe or neighborhood security cameras, see if they're on it. You've wasted valuable time that their life could be in jeopardy. Okay? It really enhances your capability between you and your loved ones to get more up-to-date, accurate information. There's so many scenarios that I could give you here to go on and on and on with how events could play out. Your loved one may be on the side of the highway with a flat tire, okay? And they shoot you a text and tell you where they're at, and you let up to go help them. But in the meantime, someone pulls in and they end up harming or kidnapping your loved one. You get to the vehicle to change the tire and they're nowhere around. Where are they? Well, if they have Upside 360 on their phone and have navigation on, you can track them via that. But it's a great tool overall for day to day, but it's a great tool as well incorporated into your P.A.C.E, because not only can you use it to keep up with your loved one, you can also send messages like text within the Upside 360 system, right? So it's a personal choice. I like it because I'm not constantly texting. I don't have to continually text Miss Lucy to tell her over a 4 or 5 hour drive where I'm at, where I'm stopping. 360 automatically shows her. All she's got to do is look at the app, and it will tell her. Okay. Our objective is to look at probabilities, conduct analysis of it. What are the risks? We want to mitigate those risks by determining where threats may be. Okay, and the P.A.C.E application, I have. Uh, when I'm on the road, typically it's a 4-hour trip one way across the state into another state. And I've gone to the degree of even printing out Google Maps showing if my vehicle breaks down and I have to walk. I have a primary and 2 alternate routes and methods 10 miles per day where I would be at. So if Miss Lucy and the person who has the second copy needs to try to come looking for me, if possible, where I would be on X day. They know what day I started walking. It's a 24-day walk, walking 10 miles a day to get home, but they can narrow down the search. And I have worked in the security field for over 40 years. Okay. And I've been blessed to have lots of training. I've worked around awesome people who trained me when I was young. And I've worked protecting everything from nuclear weapons to all types of aircraft, fighter, bombers, troop movements, building plans, all the way to driving for Special Forces commanders, and even being requested by name to travel Oconus to take a security team and build a plan to provide security for a former Delta Force commander who at the time was a brigadier general. I'm not bragging, but what I'm saying is I understand security. I don't talk a lot about lethal and non-lethal use of weapons. I think that's a personal choice. It's something that you should do at your local level and get the training. Anyone who takes you and buys a firearm and hands it to you and basically sets you on your way is doing you a great injustice. If you're going to own a firearm, you need to do lots of training and be surrounded by really smart people to help you. And lethal and non-lethal, you should get training as well. My point is, there's a lot of people who have this attitude that one case is I'm a man and I can take care of myself. Good on you. But I promise you, the first time someone points a gun to your head or in the small of your back, you've lost. Okay? And for ladies, I can't encourage, for anyone, but especially ladies, I can't encourage you enough to go get training. You need to know how to protect yourself using non-lethal up to lethal, and if time permits, you need to get enrolled in self-defense classes. All right? It's the greatest gift you can give to yourself other than being saved. All right? Firm believer in this type training. Okay? So many people won't listen. It's never happened to me. It won't happen to me. Of the hundreds of thousands of people who are kidnapped each year, how many of them said, how many of them said, it would never happen to me? But it did. And the point of this conversation is you want to take steps to do everything you can to avoid having to say it did. And if it does happen, you have a plan in place as to how a friend or a loved one can immediately get to where your last location was, or to track you to find you. All right. Um, I can't emphasize enough the importance of this. Okay. And so many people are dependent upon cell phones and cell signals, as witnessed yesterday. Cell phone technology is extremely soft, it's extremely vulnerable, and it has minimal to zero redundancy. Okay? You need to learn how, you need to first procure paper maps or download maps to areas that you are and that you travel. You need to print them out, and you need to keep them with you, and you need to know how to read a map. You need to know how to identify terrain features, okay? Landmarks, and so forth. This is only to your benefit, all right? And I know people are sitting on their duff, and they would rather play on the internet than take these steps. But if you've ever witnessed a person or one of their loved ones who goes missing, had they taken these steps prior, it would have made the recovery, the locating and recovery, so much easier. All right. It's not just for you to stay in touch and communicate and all that. It is also, in the event something happens, to help those who are going to go and search for a loved one to help find them. Okay. So give it some thought. If you have questions, you can reach out, email me at preparedness101@protonmail.com. Kudos to our Patriot sister out in central North Carolina. I had an email that came in at some point overnight, and I briefly got to see it early this morning, that she copied me on, that she was reaching out to her family in other states and starting to build a P.A.C.E. plan. The first step's maybe the hardest step, but get her done. Okay, it's why I keep coming here and talking about it. It's that important. Okay, enough said on that. Right before I was getting ready to record this video, I pulled into a rest area, and lo and behold, Miss Lucy called me, and she had a dead battery. Okay, and fortunately, I'm a couple hours from home. Fortunately, a few years ago, I bought this device called a Tack Life. You can go back in my YouTube videos, and there's a video in there on the Tack Life system. It's less than $100. I have one with me. She keeps one, and I walked her through the process to connect it, and the booster in it jumped her battery off, so she's good to go now. Okay, I'm not telling you this to embarrass Miss Lucy for having a dead battery. It is to say, again, it is hardening yourself so that you are not overcome by events and circumstances. She could have possibly been stuck somewhere with a dead battery. I'm 2 hours away. She's now dependent upon something or someone else to come help her. But instead, taking the step and putting one of these in her vehicle or at her home, to where she pulled it out, she connected it, and she brought her battery back to life again. Self-dependence, self-reliability. It's what this is all about. If you were going to, if you were told in 30 days you're going to run a 1-mile race, and you got 30 days to train for it, and the winner of the race gets $1 million, would you go watch YouTube videos for 2 or 3 hours on how to run a race, or would you get out and put on some good shoes and go start walking, then jogging, then running to have a chance at winning this race? I have nothing against YouTube videos. I watch a lot of them. but I also have taken steps in other areas to have plans and constantly building self-reliant steps into our life to make us more self-dependent and not have to depend on others. And when we need to depend on others, we have trusted agents who are our patriot sisters and brothers in our neighborhood we can reach out to. Okay, so enough of all that. Sorry this one's long. I wanted to cover those points. I hope you take to heart what I'm telling you. I'm not telling you because I just want to flap my gums on here. I could be driving home, but I felt safer stopping and driving. A lot of traffic today, and I wanted to get this out to you. So, ball's in your court. It's up to you. I just want the best for you. Okay? So stay safe. Keep your head on a swivel. Things are crazier than yesterday, and most of all, if you like this video, hit like, leave a comment, share with others who maybe you're trying to get involved in building a PACE plan of why it's important. And if you have not subscribed to Hope for Survival YouTube, please consider doing so. We appreciate you and thank you for your time for this video and any of the videos you come and watch. I know it's not sexy and exciting because I'm telling you something about something going on at the border. You can go catch that on another platform today. It's more important to me to do anything and everything I can to offer you information on how to harden your lifestyle to keep you left of bang to live another day. All right? So be blessed, and most of all, give thanks. Bravo Echo out.